All right, and welcome back. So in the last video, just to recap, we talked a lot about some fundamentals and some starting points. We really want to make sure that we've got a nice relaxed grip, nice relaxed posture in our body. We talked about poi planes. We have wheel plane and we have wall plane, and that is a relationship of the poi and ourself. We talked about timing and direction, the way that the poi relates to each other. And now we have same time, split time, and we have same direction, opposite direction, and every combination in between. We also worked on making these 2-petal in-spin flowers. We worked on making them in both hands, same time. We did that fun drill. We worked on hitting these points and being able to rotate and turn with it. And now we're gonna get into doing that with the poi. Before we get into that, however, let's just do a real quick drill. And we're gonna work on getting the poi back and forth across our body. Real simple, important to do, and important to keep the planes clean. So, maybe we'll get into that a little bit later. So all I want to do here is let's draw these big X's in front of ourselves. We're going to pretend like we're spinning forwards, right? And I'm going to call forwards is towards the camera. And all I want to do is make these big X's, like I'm slashing a sword or drawing an X or something like that, one poi at a time. Going to look something like this. Just pretending like I'm drawing these big X's, and I'm really exaggerating this right now, because I'm just kind of spinning with my entire right arm. But just for the point, I'm making these big X's back and forth across my body. If I bring this in a little bit and I start spinning kind of how I normally would, the main point here, I'll get a little closer. Hopefully you can see most of this effect of going back and forth across my body. The work's done by my wrist, right? I'm turning it over, turning it back, turning it over, turning it back. Right? Other than that, it's just the static spin that I'm doing. It's the same thing that we've always done, only I'm just kind of doing some stuff with my wrist. My arm does move a little bit, as you can see, but most of the heavy lifting is done with the hands, done with the wrist. And the same thing goes, and if you looked at it from the side, this should look pretty similar to just a regular static spin. I want to keep the circle that it's drawing out mostly the same. Okay? Same thing goes forward or backwards, but you need to practice this, make sure to practice this in both hands, of course. You can start with these bigger exaggerated X's if you want to, if you need to. Kind of come in smaller, really make sure to use the wrist here. And I would challenge you to practice this not just with the T-Rex arms in front of yourself, right? Practice this out front. Practice this kind of all over around, maybe down by your legs. Be able to go back and forth. Practice this kind of up over your head like this, because your hand's going to have to do a little bit of something different at each point to make this happen. Both left and right, I would practice all those things, all those variations, trying it in a lot of different places. Same idea holds for going in reverse. Just as before, right? I'll face this way because we're kind of spinning that direction. If I'm spinning in reverse, the same idea holds. And again, I'll face the camera so you can see what I'm doing. It's the same idea here. If I exaggerate this, I'm just, again, drawing big X's, and I'll bring it in so you can see that still, even backwards, a majority of the work is in the wrist. Besides that, it's just a static spin. Okay? From the side, once again, we have these big X's. You bring it in, and it's simply here. Right. Now, I'd like to add this same idea into the thing that we already know how to do. We already know how to do these 2-petal in-spin flowers. But if I watch just the left hand, the poi in my left hand is always on the left-hand side of my left arm, right? It's always on the outside, if you want to call it that. Another way to say this is always on the native side. It's on the left-hand side of my body when it's in my left hand. Right, same thing for the right arm. The right hand, when I'm going through this, the right poi, always on the right-hand side of my body, in my right hand. It's on its native side. The difference here is once I add in this effect that we just did, crossing back and forth across my body, I want to add that pedal, not on the native side now, not here, on the non-native side. I want to cross it over to the other side of my body, do a pedal here, right? So one at a time, let's practice that one at a time. Back here is exactly the same. When I come in front, I want to cross over to the other side of my body. So it'll look like this. Before we were doing this one, when I come forward and bring it across my body, it'll look like this. I'm gonna alternate. When it's behind me, it's on my native side. When it's in front of me, it's on my non-native side. From the back, that looks like this. Or sorry, from the front, that looks like this. Right? So it's the same idea here, same idea when it was nice and small, but it's now in these 2-pedal in-spin flowers. I need to go right into it, right? Same thing with the left hand. When it's behind me, it's on my native side. When I bring it in front, I'm gonna go over to my non-native side. And facing the camera, looks like this. So now when I do this move, now when I put them both together, right? Before we were sort of here. And now when I do it, it'll look like this. You're gonna kind of have this back and forth feeling. But the effect is, if I stop at this T position here facing the camera, you can see the poi are on the same side now. Before I was here, and now I'm here. And we want to keep the poi moving in opposition such that they meet in the middle. The left poi comes down through the center, the right poi comes up through the center, and they kind of meet in this middle position. That means they're still in opposition, right? And the same thing is true once I turn the other way, turn away from the camera, right? I was here, and I can see if I stop facing away from the camera, poi again, same side. They're always on the same side once I start crossing the front poi to the other side of the body, okay? So once you kind of have this down, you feel like you can get through it pretty easily. Want to stop for a second? Let's go to our old familiar. Remember when we were here doing this stuff? And we said, hey, if I just turn my feet, I can do it reverse. Same idea. Let's turn our feet and do it in reverse. So we'll start with these small circles. Let's get back to the old familiar of these bigger extensions. You're gonna hit yourself a bunch when you first learn, and I'm still hitting myself, so let's get to these 2-pedal in-spin flowers. Except now, I wanna cross the front hand when the poi comes in front of my body. When it comes to here, that's when I want to go back and forth, right? That's when I want to do the pedal on the other side of the body. We started with one hand going forward. Let's do one hand at a time here too. Start with the right. Poi is starting back here. It's on the native side. It's going to cross over to the non-native side and do a pedal here. Native, non-native. Back and forth. Facing forward. You know what? I'm going to face away so I can keep the orientation the same. So that from the back looks like this. And I think you can see now why it's important to turn your shoulders and open up. If I didn't do that, and I'll face away just for the effect, if I didn't do that, I have very limited range of motion to get my arm behind me. You can see it's nothing, it's out to the side. I really need to open up the shoulders to get that to go all the way back behind me. So let's go back to this Fred here. We're going in reverse. We're doing these 2-pedal in-spin flowers. Split time, same direction, in wheel plane. And now, when the hand is in front of me, I'm gonna cross it over to the non-native side. And if I stop just to show you, you can see that they're on the same side. If I stopped behind me, hopefully you can see that they're the same side. And what I really want to show here is just like before when we were turning, doing this drill, this position, no matter which direction my feet are facing, is the same. And that is the same thing for doing this thing, right? When we're here, this is the same as this, which means that I can turn with it. And I can turn the other direction. And I don't need to turn. I can kind of just be here. And at any point, I can just do this movement without doing the pedals. I got to stop because I'm getting out of breath talking and spinning. But I think you get the point. Practice that a ton. Be able to turn with this. I think this in its own right is kind of cool. Right? Go through those movements, do the drills. We'll have a couple last pieces here. We're building up to the 3-beat weave by showing you some fundamentals and some movements. Last piece I want to do, we'll drop the play again, come back to our old friend, okay? You can pick at any foot, it doesn't really matter. We'll go right foot in front, right arm going forward, right? Now before, when we're doing this forward crawl, this drill here, we went right into the upper body kind of turning with it and rotating. Instead, I want to add one little complicated thing and then we'll get a lot easier, I promise. So instead, before we rotate and keep this circle going, I want to keep it going, but I want to cross my arms here first, right? So instead of here, I'm here, right? And I want to get to this position where my hands are sort of one's at 9, one's at 3. They're going to want to keep rotating. As they're rotating, kind of coming up, one's up the top to here, one's down here. That's when my body rotates, right? Just as before, shoulders turn to forward and then turn to the side. Same idea here. Shoulders turn, shoulders turn. Now I'm going to open up here, right? All I did, cross the arms, turn and rotate, and unwind. Now that I'm here, I want to do exactly the same thing. Cross the arms, 9 and 3. Keep it going. One gets up to 12, one gets down to 6. Rotate, unwind. Cross, rotate, unwind. Cross, rotate, unwind. And we'll put the pedals at either ends just because that's what we're familiar with. So you could even break this down and say, just so that I can get used to what it feels like to have poi in my hands when I do this, let's wrap up the tethers, put poi in the hands, go through that same drill. Just, if you need to take that intermediary step, you can definitely do that. Let's let the tethers out. Let's get back to what we were doing before. We were here, and we were doing this in a way that we kept the poi on the same side every time, right? Well, except for that one time that was a blooper in the tutorial, I'll say. And now, if we can even start from this position, we can even pause here and say, before I do anything, before I turn and rotate, cross the arms. If you need to do nothing else and you only want to get to this position, that's totally fine. You can let them dangle. Turn our upper body. I hope the mic's coming through. It's kind of in my arms at the moment. Turn and rotate. And then we want to unwind just like before. Left hand up and over. Right hand down behind. And you can get to this position and pause. Right? Same as we did before. Let's start here. Cross the arms. You can let them stop if you want to. Turn and unwind. Right comes up and over. Left comes down and behind. And we'll do that again. Cross, turn, unwind, get to the familiar position. Cross, turn, unwind, get to the familiar position, right? The goal is not to stop. The goal is to keep going. The goal is to go, we're here, cross and turn, unwind. We're here, cross, turn, and unwind. Right? Cross, turn, and unwind. Cross, turn, and unwind. Just as before, how we kind of built up to this and said, hey, we can do this in reverse too. Just got to turn our feet. Let's do exactly that. Let's get to our familiar T position here. We're going to cross just as before, except this time, instead of rotating this direction, we're going to rotate this direction. Same idea though. Cross, turn and rotate, turn our upper body, unwind. Then we're here, we're gonna cross, 9 and 3, turn, unwind. With the poi, let's start here, our good old familiar. We'll cross, you let them drop if you want to, or hit you in the head. Turn, unwind. Let's cross, you'd have them stop, turn, unwind. The goal again is to do this without stopping. Cross, turn, unwind. Cross, turn, unwind. And we'll do pedals. Cross, turn, and unwind. Okay. The next progression here is to be able to turn with this, just like we did here, right? Same idea. We can start here. Let's turn towards our right hand this time, just like we did the first time. Cross, turn, and rotate. And now when I cross and turn, instead of coming back to face the camera, let's cross, turn the other way to be in reverse. And now that I'm here, I can turn back towards the side this direction. I can turn back to facing away from the camera. Or I could just do nothing. I can just kind of stay here with it. Right? Go through all of those, being able to turn with it, cross, turn, rotate, unwind. If you feel like you've made it that far, it's probably a good time to pause and go and do that a bunch of times. You can do that at your leisure. It won't take camera time to do that. The last step here is just to take out the pedals. Take out these two pedal. You're doing these flowers here. Is just to take those out and do the cross, turn, and rotate. Right, so before what we were doing was cross, turn, rotate. We kind of stopped and did a bunch of pedals because we needed to get our bearings again. We did cross, turn, and rotate, got our bearings again. We're gonna take out the pedals, which means you don't have time to kind of get your bearings. You might be able to stop in practice, in reality. But for this drill, for this exercise, let's just keep the flow going without the pedals. So I guess we can drop the poi for a second. What that's gonna look like, cross, turn, rotate, here, not stopping. As you unwind, you're gonna go right into cross, turn, rotate again. Unwind, right into cross, turn, and rotate. Look like this, right? And the reverse is the same idea. Cross, turn, rotate, unwind. Cross, turn, rotate, unwind. With the poi, without pedals, right? We'll start, you can start with the pedals. I'll allow that because you kind of need some place to start. We'll cross, turn, rotate, unwind, right into cross, turn, rotate, unwind. If you can do 2 in a row, we'll count that as a success, right? Make that your goal to do 2 in a row. You can say, well, we'll do 2 in a row, starting with our left side first, and then let's do 2 in a row, starting with our right side first. Bam, and bam. Back into pedals. Work your way up. Let's say, let's do 3. 1, 2, 3, pedals. All right, starting from this side. 1, 2, 3, and pedals. All right, that's getting kind of tiring though, having your arms be so wide out here. It's getting tiring with me talking too. So instead, let's bring this down into not spinning from the shoulders with these big extensions. Let's spin from the elbows this time. So we'll start with our familiar here, our familiar sort of T position. You don't have to start all the way out here this time. We're not spinning from the shoulders. Let's kind of just be a little more relaxed about it, right? We'll kind of, let's make the movement smaller, not here, but just kind of here, right? Cross, turn, rotate. Cross, turn, rotate. Or what did I say before? Cross, turn, unwind. Yeah, get my words mixed up. Cross, turn, unwind. Cross, turn, unwind. We make this smaller. Take out the pedals. Cross, turn, unwind. Make your goal, let's say 2 in a row. 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's start from the other side now. 1, 2, 1, 2. We'll go 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and we're here. 1, 2, 3. Cross, turn, rotate, unwind. Sorry, cross, turn, unwind. Got my words all mixed up, but I think you get the point here. Until we are getting into a point where we're just doing it kind of from the wrists. And you can see that this is all a 3-beat weave is cross, turn, unwind, cross, turn, unwind, cross, turn, unwind, on, repeat. Get this nice and relaxed. That's all the 3-beat weave is. And not only that, that's all the 3-beat weave is going the other way. Cross, turn, unwind, cross, turn, unwind. I put the pedals in so you can see that it's the same exact thing. Make this smaller, make it even smaller, and we're doing a reverse 3-beat weave. Look at that. And just like before, when we were not just standing here in one place, but we were turning with it, right, in any direction that we wanted to, same thing applies here. We know how to do this. If you need to make it bigger and pause and still put the pedals in, by all means, do what you gotta do. Better to practice it and get it clean rather than practice a bunch of sloppy stuff over and over again. How you practice it is how you're gonna perform it. So we were doing this. We know how to do this move here. We know how to do cross, turn, unwind over and over again. We know that we can stop here if we need to. And we know that we know how to do cross, turn, unwind, going in reverse. All we got to do now is put these together. You can put pedals here if you need to, or you can go right into it. And this is your waist strap. It's just cross, turn, and unwind on repeat. And now that I'm here, I can rotate and I can turn away from the camera this time. Keep it going. I can turn back towards the camera. I can put in pedals at any point here. And we've kind of reached the end of this beginner tutorial. We're gonna do more moves, more movements as we get into, we did this in split time same direction. In future videos, we're gonna be covering split time opposites, okay? But I hope that this gives you something to play around with. And hopefully you can see that poi movements, poi tricks, aren't so crazy that you have a trick over here and a trick over here. They're really just movements that are pretty much the same and pretty similar, right? All we did was we practiced just going through this movement of keeping our arms in opposition. We added some poi in, we did some circles, we did some pedals where all we did was kind of stop our movement and let physics do all the rest of the work. We kind of went back and forth across our body. We put all that stuff together and realized at the end of the day, a 3-beat weave is just cross, turn, unwind over and over again, right? You see people spinning it fast and kind of complicated and it looks all fancy. It's just cross, turn, unwind over and over again. Practice this until you can do it in your sleep till it's super comfortable. Practice this so that you can just kind of just turn with it however you want to turn. All I'm doing is cross, turn, unwind over and over again, okay? If you have any questions on any of the stuff that we've gone over here, or if you have requests for other movements, other tricks, other concepts in future videos, please let me know. If you like this style of teaching, please let me know. Any feedback, because this is my first tutorial, would love to hear it. And hopefully this helped you. If it didn't, you know what, grocery store it and just put it back on the shelf, leave it for somebody else, not a big deal. But thank you if you did make it, and we'll see you in future videos.